Hi guys, it's CalamitiesDawn here and welcome back to another episode of Minecraft 1.21. So to start off the episode, I'm kind of just showing really quick glimpses of what I ended up doing to progress further in our project that we've got set here. I kind of cleared away some more area. I haven't terraformed it or anything. Terraforming's not my strong suit. I'll eventually get around to it. But we cleared out some area and I started doing another planter garden, whatever you want to call it. I kind of had trouble at the start because I was trying to have it lined up correctly and it just didn't work out. But by this point, I've figured it out that it's exactly the right amount of spaces I want apart, and I'm just putting a whole bunch of flowers in there to make it nice. I'm now tearing up the dirt to make a path. I'm very particular when it comes to these sort of things. I find that even though I like things in a similar color palette, it's got to look different. So, you know, time to be fussy, I suppose. I then take our first trip to the Nether and I have a quick look around and just see what's happening. Now there is a point here when I decide that I'm going to go a certain direction. I do nearly fall down a hole. Thankfully I didn't, which was great, but there was that. I end up deciding to build a staircase down because I don't want to risk dying. Not that there's like heavy stakes on it, I mean besides my levels I suppose, but I don't particularly want to die. So I just build a staircase down and it gives me access to getting all this glowstone, which I'm going to need more of as the episode progresses. And then I decide at this point I'm not going to build all the way down. I'm just going to build across to a somewhat level area, which was great. And then decide I'm going to make some lighting for the fountain. Spoiler, that's what our project is. Not fully, but that's what it is. I decided I'm going to put redstone lamps in there, which is fine, until I later realized that having the torches there is not going to be beneficial. I'm killing a magma cube because why not? I was back in the Nether. I had to get more glowstone. As I said, I was going to need more. I purely thought I had enough to make enough redstone lamps for what I was doing, but it just wasn't. I did find a Nether fortress. I don't explore it in this episode though, because my main priority at this point in time is to grab what I need from the Nether and just get out. Like, because I don't want to explore a fortress and then lose all of my glowstone. I need that glowstone. As I go back to the portal though, there was a naga there, which luckily I knocked off of the edge, but it did give me wither, unfortunately. I then continue on with my lighting setup. I still haven't at this point realized it's not a good idea, but that's okay. I figure it out, I promise. I end up finding myself a tavern from the Dungeons and Taverns mod, which I'd go through a quick walkthrough and have a look because why not? Interesting. I've seen them before in previous playthroughs, but I wanted to have a proper look and loot them. I normally don't loot them in my normal playthroughs that I do by myself. I just sort of go have a look, see if there's anything interesting and leave. But I thought I'd clear the place out because it is a fair way from home. I've gone and found a jungle temple and I've cleared it out. Now, I don't know if other Minecraft YouTubers do the same thing, but I like to loot all of the arrows and stockpile them. That way I don't have to craft as many. I then went down to the mines and I decided I was going to clear out some monsters to explore the bits that were dark to make sure that there was no ores that I wanted. At the minute I'm doing okay, but in the next couple of clips I have some trouble. I meet the skeleton gang here who are very insistent at shooting me. There was one point there, I'm pretty sure they all shot me at once. I could be wrong, but that's what it felt like to me when I was playing. I ended up distracting them enough that two fought each other and I was able to pick them off one by one, thankfully. At this point here, this is where things could have gone terribly wrong. I didn't realize the witch was there. I could hear her. I just didn't register she was right behind me. And she crept up on me. And I was having to deal with the creeper too. So I could have died, but I survived, thankfully. Ended up finding some diamonds, which was great. As I continue on exploring, I ended up finding this trial chamber, which at the time I didn't know it was a trial chamber. So I was kind of like, I'm going to just set the waystone because if I die, this is here and I can come back and get my stuff. But I make my way all the way down and I have a quick look in, sort of gather what's happening here and decide I am out. I am not doing this. I am leaving. I am not prepared for a trial chamber. I end up making a very funny goof when it comes to naming the waystone though. I end up putting trail chamber instead of a trial chamber. I didn't realize this until I'd already finished recording and started editing this episode that I spelt it wrong. But it's okay, I know what it means, and that's fine. And I'm finding these weird house structures as I go adventuring and just decide to go have a look at them. They kind of can have good loot, but it's not always a given, so I just check it anyway. Now, I do have to explain that this episode is going to be mostly adventure orientated, I'd say. I don't mean for it to be, I'm just more of an adventuring type of person when it comes to playing Minecraft rather than building, but I do want to try and have, as the next episodes go on, either focus on exploring or building instead of sort of doing the both. I find these ruins, now I have found them before in different playthroughs, and they have suspicious gravel, which we'll deal with another time. I ended up continuing to walk through to try and find a swamp that gave me slimes, and I found this witch's village. I kind of thought that they'd all be friendly, but I was just like, I'm not going to risk it. They're probably not. Let's leave. I ended up finding an abandoned village, but one of the ruin type ones. And as I continued, I actually found an area where there was slimes. So I went slime crazy and attacked all of these slimes here. I ended up getting a decent amount plus some slime heads, which I have a project in mind for them as well. I went back, used more of some marble to try and round off the fountain in a particular way. I'm fairly certain that I actually end up changing the idea of it later. And as per usual, while I'm in the middle of a project, I have some pillagers decide to stop by and say hello. I don't take too well to them stopping by, unfortunately, so we do get rid of them because I don't want them there. I then decided to go and do a moss mining expedition. I don't have the whole moss mining clip in here because I did spend like 30 minutes to an hour maybe just collecting moss, which I end up finding out later it's still not enough. So I start doing more of the fountain and I start digging it out and getting prepared to have things set the way I want them. I then ended up at one point deciding that I just didn't like where the lamps were. I felt like they were too high. So I do end up fixing it later on, just not quite yet. I'm here sort of looking at the ground saying, is this what I want to do? And I was certain at the time that this is how I wanted it. I soon realized this is not how I want it, and I eventually fix it. We also have our pig friend in here. For some reason, he's still in the middle of the hole, probably because I haven't let him out. I'm fairly certain I do send him to a nice peaceful place later. Because I got frustrated. I was like, I'm not going to sit here and let you out. I'm trying to build and you're in the way. And then end up tearing down everything because, as I'd said earlier, I kind of come back as I'm building and realize that this isn't how I want things done. So I start fixing it up to what sort of would look better in my head. Mind you, I am not a builder. I must preface, I am not a Minecraft builder. I am trying my best though. I kind of went around and made sure I got all of the water leveled. And then I decided I was going to go get some seaweed and some seagrass and some fishes. I don't have anything for the fish yet, but I kind of had the idea that I had to go get fish first. I don't know why. And at this point, I'm starting to decide, okay, we're going to expand on this project a bit more than it just being a fountain. In the next episode, you'll kind of see what's happening. Because if I tell you now, it's a spoiler, and you can wait till the next episode. At this point, I realize, yeah, probably better not to use the torches and use a redstone block instead. That way, it's just easier. So I do a quick run through and clear things out. I then decide that I'm going to start doing the underground part of my project. It's not completely done. It's probably like nowhere near done. The entrance to it is terrible. But I just needed a basic way to go. So we just did basic, I suppose. I then go back to the fountain and I start digging down to where I believe the underground part is going to match up. And so I start filling everything in the way I want it. Trust me, by next episode, none of this stays. Bar maybe a couple of things. Pretty much everything gets retconned, I suppose, would be the best way to say it come next episode. I then decide I want the fountain to look quite pretty. I don't want it to look boring. And the best way I can do that is with the trapdoors. I then add in some grass. And we start adding our little axolotls in. And we've named them Snow, Coco, and Jaffa. I named the orange one Jaffa just because it reminded me of Jaffa cakes. I don't know. Just sort of came to my head. Don't know why. They're like an orangey brown color, but I called them Jaffa because I thought they looked good. But that is pretty much the episode. I will see you guys another time. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you when I do the next one. Bye, guys.